Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I want to begin with my thoughts on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on live TV, watched by billions of people worldwide during the Academy Awards. Firstly, let's begin by terming it the right way. I think you can say slapping, hitting, or assaulting, but to say smacking, I don't know. Smacking somehow seems too lightweight a word to be used for this act, even if grammatically there is absolutely nothing wrong with its usage here. Slapping, hitting, or assaulting adds the necessary seriousness to the situation, and that is exactly what this incident happens to be, a properly serious issue. In a world where free speech and democratic governments are being slaughtered by autocrats, imbeciles, and bad actors with agendas, we cannot have the biggest and, in the eyes of many, the most legit award show on the planet have a global superstar hit a comedian for making a joke, irrespective of how quote-unquote offensive the joke was. And I don't think that the joke was even that offensive to derive such a violent reaction. Have you guys seen Ricky Gervais host the Golden Globes? Of course, despite saying all this, I don't think this is Will Smith's entire personality. He made a mistake, he overreacted and assaulted another human being, and for his act, he has to face the consequences. It's that simple. If he doesn't, then this situation has the potential to be a gateway to people thinking that violence is a legitimate way to react to jokes, and that is something that the sensible world cannot allow to happen. And now, let me share my thoughts on Marry Me, starring Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, and Sarah Silverman. Marry Me is essentially a film about arranged marriage. Here, the main couple get married and then get to know each other, with the obstacle or villain being that they don't connect with each other and head for a divorce. This is the villain this kind of film has to overcome, because arranged marriage is essentially how most of India gets married. Indian filmmakers have gotten to the core idea of quote-unquote two strangers get married and have to overcome the villain of separation to live happily ever after by discovering their love for each other way early. In fact, Tamil cinema, which is a movie industry that is found in the southern part of India, has churned out one classic every 10 years using this theme. Of course, most of these movies have been dramas rather than comedies, but the idea of Marry Me was something that was extremely familiar, as it was very Tamil to me. Combine this with the fact that this movie contains as many songs as a Tamil/Indian film, and the songs are used in such a way that you can't really call it a musical, which is exactly how most Indian films are designed, and you can say that this movie seems like a Tamil movie made in Hollywood. Talking specifically about Marry Me, this movie works. It works because of the crisp writing and the chemistry between the charming leads, and of course between Sarah Silverman and Owen Wilson. Jennifer Lopez is basically playing herself, a pop icon and a multi-millionaire who ends up marrying middle-class math teacher/divorced dad Owen Wilson, owing to a series of fantastical events. And when I say fantastical, I mean if I had just heard the story instead of watching it, I would have thought even for a movie and a rom-com at that, this doesn't seem plausible. But the movie proved me wrong. Apparently, it is plausible, and spoiler alert, they do end up living happily ever after together. The performances of both J-Lo and Wilson is convincing enough, even if not extremely passionate. Sarah Silverman as Wilson's best friend and wing woman is really great and brings the calm part to this movie. The supporting cast also make decent contributions to create the ambience necessary for the audience to accept this rom-com universe and the couple at the center of it. Coming to the writing, the plot moves efficiently from one situation to the next without giving the audience too much time to think about, again, their plausibility. Another thing I liked about the writing is how it reverses the gender dynamics compared to most of the rom-coms that I have seen. In fact, the final cliche of a scene where one person runs to the airport to win over the other is given to J-Lo here. Mind you, all of this is done in a manner that seems very organic and not quote-unquote forced. As far as I'm concerned, I want more movies of women doing the chasing, where the male characters hopefully are afforded more space than what has historically been afforded to the female characters when the roles are reversed. And this movie manages to do just that. Owen Wilson's character at no point in the movie feels overpowered or crowded out by J-Lo's character. He supports J-Lo's character, does a bit of wooing, and gets wooed too. Owen Wilson has a best friend, J-Lo has her support system, and both lean on their respective friends to figure things out. On the whole, this movie manages to give both the characters an equal footing, which elevates this film in my eyes. Marry Me is a film that stays true to the nature of the rom-com. Watch it when you want to unwind and when you want to take a break from all the heavy stuff. As always, my name is Kishore Ganesh, and this is the Vocal About Visuals podcast. Please follow/subscribe on your preferred podcast platforms and to our YouTube channel with the same name. Thank you, my dear listeners, for your time and for